Hello everyone. In this video we are going to begin with mechanical digestion. In previous video we have discussed about five steps of human nutrition, that is ingestion, digestion, absorption, assimilation and finally egestion. Okay. Now in this video we will begin with mechanical digestion. So mechanical digestion is also known as physical digestion. What happens in the process of mechanical digestion is the large piece of food which we eat, okay, so that large piece of food is actually broken down into smaller pieces of food without any chemical change in the food. Okay, so the breakdown of food into smaller pieces without chemical change in the food molecule is actually known as mechanical digestion, and it is also known as physical digestion because actually there is no chemical change in the food molecule. Physically the food is being broken down into smaller pieces. Okay, now there are two sides of mechanical digestion in human digestive system. First one is the mouth or buccal cavity. So initially when we ingest the food, that means when we take food inside our mouth, in our mouth we have these white color solid structures which are known as teeth. Okay, so in our mouth or buccal cavity, with the help of teeth, the food which we ingest or the food which we eat is broken down into smaller pieces. Okay, the large piece of food is actually broken down into smaller pieces without any chemical change in that food molecule. Okay, so this is the example of mechanical digestion. Apart from this, mechanical digestion also takes place in duodenum. In your lower classes, you must have studied about this, that when the food goes from stomach to small intestine. Okay, so the first part of small intestine is actually known as duodenum. Now, duodenum receives the secretion from gallbladder. Okay, liver is there. So this liver actually secretes a type of juice which is called bile juice. It's a digestive juice. Okay, and this bile juice which liver secretes is stored in the gallbladder. Okay, now what happens is liver secretes bile juice which is temporarily stored in the gallbladder, and this bile juice mixes with the food in duodenum, and this bile juice actually helps in emulsification of fat. Okay, now the meaning of emulsification of fat is the large globules of fat are actually broken down into smaller globules or the smaller pieces. Okay, so this is the second example of mechanical digestion in human body. The first one was a breakdown of physical breakdown of food into smaller pieces inside a mouth with the help of teeth, and the second one is emulsification of fat inside duodenum with the help of bile juice. Okay. Now the very important point here to be noted is it is asked in the IGCSE exam generally that what is the purpose of mechanical digestion? Why it is important for our body to perform mechanical digestion? Okay. So what happens is, we all know, as we have studied in the lower classes, that digestion process occurs only with the help of enzymes, isn't it? The digestion process occurs with the help of enzymes. Okay. Now what happens is, just look at the diagram which I'm making on the screen. For example, you have a big piece of food. Okay. Now on this piece of food, maybe around 10 to 15 enzymes surrounds this particular piece of food and starts digesting it. Okay. So like this, 10 to 15 enzymes together, they surround this big piece of food and starts digesting it. Okay. Now what happens is, if this food is actually broken down by teeth into smaller pieces, okay, if this food is broken down by teeth into smaller pieces, so maybe these are the new food molecules, okay, broken down into smaller pieces by teeth. Okay, now what happens is, now one enzyme is sufficient enough to digest this small piece of food. Okay, so what happens is, because of mechanical digestion, the surface area of the food molecule increases. Okay, and the digestion of the food can be done in lesser amount of time, isn't it? So mechanical digestion is important because mechanical digestion actually increases the surface area of the food molecule. Okay, by breaking down food molecule into smaller pieces, mechanical digestion increases the surface area of the food molecule, and hence what will happen? More and more number of enzymes can easily act on the food molecules in given amount of time. Okay, or the food can be digested very fast. Okay, the time required for the digestion of this food will be very less. Okay, so this is the significance of mechanical digestion. Now I've told you that the first site of mechanical digestion is mouth or buccal cavity. So first we'll understand what are the different things present inside the buccal cavity. Okay, so buccal cavity is actually the cavity or the empty space present inside our mouth. Okay, and it has teeth. Okay, it has tongue and it has salivary glands. Fine. So first in this video we'll discuss about teeth. What are teeth and what are the different types of teeth? So teeth, if we define teeth, we know that teeth are small, calcified, whitish structures. Okay, so these are small in the sense they are present inside our mouth. So we consider them as small compared to other body parts. Okay, and they're calcified. That means there is a large amount of calcium deposition in our teeth. Okay, so in our teeth, we have a large amount of calcium deposition. Plus these are the whitish structure. That means the color of the teeth is generally white or pale white in human beings. Okay, and these are found in the jaws or in the mouth of many vertebrates that are used to break down food. Okay, so teeth are actually small calcified whitish structure present in the jaws or you can say mouth of vertebrate animals, and these are used to break down the food. Okay, remember, teeth are used only for the mechanical digestion of the food. Okay, now uh, importance of mechanical digestion is like crushing and grinding of food with the help of teeth actually increases surface area of the food, and this increases action of enzyme on the food. Okay, so remember this mechanical digestion, the significance is it actually helps in increasing the surface area of the food, which in turn increases the enzyme action on the food. Okay, now this picture represents actually different types of teeth present in our mouth. Okay, now if this is the example of a human mouth. So if you see here, if you will divide mouth like this in two parts, upper and lower part, so this one is actually your upper jaw. Okay, this is your upper jaw, and this one is lower jaw. Okay, this is your lower jaw. Now what happens is, in upper jaw, in the center, just you can look at the mirror and check your own teeth. In the center we have four teeth. Okay, these four teeth. Okay, so these four teeth present in the center, they are known as incisor. What they're called? Incisor. So we have in the center four incisors, both in upper jaw as well as in lower jaw. Okay, so how many incisors we have all together in the mouth? All together in the mouth we have total 8 incisors. 4 incisors are present in the upper jaw here, and 4 incisors are present in the lower jaw, in the center of the jaw. Okay, if you look at the picture carefully, you can make out that the shape of the incisor is actually chisel shape. So here I have made the chisel shape diagram. You can see here. Okay, this is called chisel shape. Okay, so incisors are actually used in biting of the food. So whenever you eat any food, for example, you're eating an apple or you're eating a banana or any other food. Okay, so we bring that food near our mouth and bite with the help of incisors. So the function of incisors in a mouth is to bite the food. Okay, and there are total 8 incisors present inside our mouth. Now next to the incisors we actually have canines. Okay, so this is canine. Next to incisors we have canine on each side. So there are actually in one jaw, there are actually 2 canines present. Okay, so this is one canine and this is the second canine. Okay, so there are actually 2 canines present in each jaw. Okay, so all together in mouth we have 4 canines. Okay, and the function of the canine is they're generally pointed. If you touch your canine with the tongue, your tongue, you can make out that the canine is little pointed like this. Okay, canine is little pointed like this. Okay, now canine is pointed because in human beings, again, the canine is actually used in biting of the hard food. For example, if you're eating a carrot, so carrot generally we avoid biting with incisors. We always bite it from the side tooth, or the sugar cane we bite it with the side tooth. Okay, so in canines are actually used in biting of the hard food. But when we talk about carnivores, like lion or maybe dogs or these large cats, okay, panther, leopard, tiger and all. So you must have noticed this lion, they have very pointed canines like this. Okay, they have very pointed canines. So in carnivores or in some of the omnivore animals, these canine teeth are pointed because it helps the animal in tearing of the flesh. Okay, so because they eat raw flesh of other animals, so these canines helps in tearing of the flesh. Okay, so these canines help the carnivore animals with tearing of the flesh. Okay, so altogether there are actually total 4 canines present in our mouth. Okay, and next to canine we have these premolars. Okay, so if you see here in the picture, in one jaw we have total 4 premolars. Okay, so altogether in the mouth we have 8 premolars. Okay, so there are 8 premolars altogether in the mouth. Understood? And next to premolar we have molar teeth. You can see here in one jaw we have total 6 molar teeth. Okay, on the each side. Each side 3 molar teeth are present. So in one jaw we have total 6 molar teeth. Altogether in mouth we have 12 molar teeth. Understood? So the presence of these 12 molar teeth and the presence of 8 premolar teeth actually helps in proper crushing and grinding of food. So after we bite the food and take it inside our mouth, the food, we chew the food. Okay, so which teeth helps in the chewing of food? That is your premolar and molar. Okay, so this premolars and molars actually helps in crushing and grinding of the food properly. Okay, they helps in proper mechanical digestion of the food. What happens is these premolars and molars, they actually have cusp and grooves. For example, this is one teeth in the lower jaw. Okay, this is one tooth in the lower jaw. So this is actually known as cusp, C-U-S-P. And this depression in the tooth is actually known as groove. Okay, so this is a tooth of lower jaw, and if you see the tooth of the upper jaw. Okay, so what happens is the cusp of one tooth fixes with the groove of another tooth. Okay, and this is how they move on each other, on the top of each other, and then they helps in the crushing and grinding of the food. So premolar and molars, they help in crushing and grinding of food, and there are total 8 premolars present in the mouth and 12 molars present in the mouth. The last pair of molar in both the jaws, okay, this one, the last pair of molar teeth in both the jaw is actually known as wisdom tooth, because all the humans, they get this particular wisdom tooth only after the age of 25 in their life. Okay, so after the age of 25 they get this molar tooth, and this is known as wisdom tooth. Okay, and if you look at this diagram in the mouth, all together in upper jaw we have 16 teeth. Okay, how many teeth are present? 16. And even in lower jaw we have 16 teeth. Now if we'll divide it into 4 parts, in 4 equal parts from the center. Okay, if, like this I'm dividing it, you can see the line, the red color line. Okay, I'm dividing it into 4 different parts equally. Okay, so this becomes now the 4 quadrant. Quadrant 1, okay, quadrant 2, quadrant 3, and quadrant 4. This is similar to the graph like we divide in maths. Okay, quadrant 1, 2, 3, and quadrant 4. Okay, so now if we'll count the number of teeth present in each quadrant, so it is 8. Okay, quadrant 1, 2, 3, and 4. Each quadrant is having 8 teeth respectively. Okay, so this is actually the X-ray of the mouth of a person. So, and this is the picture of one quadrant. Okay, this is a picture of one quadrant. Okay, and now you can make out here in one quadrant we have 2 incisors. Here in picture it is clearly shown that incisors are actually having a chisel shape. Then we have 1 canine. Okay, we have 2 premolars and 3 molars. Okay, and in this last tooth is actually the wisdom tooth. Okay, this wisdom tooth every mammal or vertebrate gets only after the age of 25 years. So this table represents the types of teeth, function, and numbers of the teeth. First one is incisors. Okay, as we have already discussed, these incisors, they have chisel-like surface, and they help in cutting of the food. Okay, they act like a blade, and they helps to cut the food, helps in biting of the food. So in our mouth, we have total 8 incisors. In each jaw, there are 4 incisors. And when we talk about the quadrant, so in one quadrant there are two incisors. Okay, then we have canines. These canines have a pointed tips. In humans, they have the same purpose like incisors. They helps in biting of the food, but biting of the hard food. Okay, but in carnivores, they help in tearing of the flesh. And in our mouth, we have total four canines. Okay, each jaw is having two canine, and in one quadrant, like I've shown you in the previous picture, the X-ray of the buccal cavity. Okay, so there in one quadrant we had only one canine. Premolars and molars, they both helps in crushing and grinding of the food. Okay, so premolars and molars, they help in crushing and grinding of the food. Okay, so in mouth there are total 8 premolars. In one jaw there are 4 premolars, and in one quadrant we have 2 premolars. But in our mouth there are 12 molars, and 6 molars in each jaw and 3 molars in each quadrant. Okay, so this is the number of teeth. So altogether in our mouth we have 32 teeth. So in the next video we will discuss about the structure of human tooth. Thank you.